Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in this video series called Learning the Lagna. And today I'll be discussing about Gemini Lagna. Okay. So Gemini, it stands from Mithuna. Okay. And it is derived from the word Mithuna, which means, sexual interaction in Sanskrit. Okay. So Gemini is symbolized by the twins, as you can see on my back. Okay. And because of this symbolism, this Lagna, it proclaims to be, this Rashi rather, it proclaims to be the most dual of the other, of the other dual Rashis. So we have four dual Rashis. We have Gemini, we have Virgo, both ruled by Mercury. We have Sagittarius, and we have Pisces. So, only Mercury and Jupiter rule the dual Rashis. Okay. So since these twins, they represent a male and a female. So the natives who have Gemini Lagna, they tend to blend both male and female energies within themselves. Okay. But then this blending does not promote happiness through progeny, because Venus, who is the lord of the fifth house of children and the 12th house of laws, it implies expenditures through children. Okay, so if you are Gemini Lagna, after childbirth, your expenditures would increase all of a sudden. Okay, but then because the fifth and the 12th houses are conjoining, or are ruled by Venus. Okay, so it also encourages enjoyment. Okay, because the 12th house, it rules enjoyment, and the fifth house, it rules play, and Venus is the significator for pleasure. Okay, so this combination particularly suggests sexual enjoyment or sexual fulfillment, because as I said, Mithuna, which is one of the words for sexual intercourse, is derived from Mithuna. Okay, the word for couple in Sanskrit. And Mithuna is actually the Sanskrit name for the constellation Gemini. Yes. Now, if you look at the Lagna, all the Kendras, that means the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the 10th house, they will be controlled by dual Rashis. Okay. As a result of which, Geminians, they will tend to be dual-minded about relationships and residence. Okay. And this is particularly true of career, because the Lagna Lord Mercury, which is of course another dual planet, it gets debiliated in the 10th house of profession. Okay. So they will be very dual minded about, whether to continue in their job or to do a business. Or if they do a business, then they will be dual minded about whether doing a business is okay or they should go back to doing a job. Okay. So that is the dual minded conflict that they have because of Mercury being debilitated in the 10th house. All right. And Geminis, they are frequently attracted to the arts as a profession, because Venus, who is the lord of the creative fifth house and also the significator of the creative arts, it gets exalted in the 10th house. Okay. But then, although they may have they may have a lot of attraction to being a professional artist, they might not succeed at this aim, because although, Venus lords the fifth house, it also lords the 12th house of loss. Okay. So the Gemini natives, or the people having Gemini in Lagna, they are credited with loquacity. Okay, presumably because the moon, who is renowned for its fluctuations, it rules the second house of speech. Okay, and Mercury, who rules speech, also rules the Lagna. Okay, so if you're a Gemini native, be very careful with your speech, all right, because your speech may not always serve you well, because at the end of the day, the moon is Mercury is the moon's enemy. Okay, so Gemini is the original third house of intellect in the natural Kalpurish chart, or in the natural zodiac. And because Sun rules the third house of a Gemini Lagna, these natives, they tend to rely on their intellects, particularly because Mercury is the planet of intellect. Okay. However, this over reliance on intellect, it may create difficulties for those Geminis who set out to pursue a spiritual path, because Saturn, who is the lord of the ninth house of spirituality, is a materialist graha who also is the lord of the eighth house. Okay, and what does the eighth house do? Since it is the 12th to the ninth house, so the eighth house negates the ninth house. It is the house of adharma. Okay, So this tendency is compounded by the fact that Mercury is the enemy of Jupiter, okay, and Jupiter is a natural significator of spirituality. So Geminis, they will usually prefer philosophy to devotional practices when they do go for spirituality. Okay, they are the ones who will try to find logic in every spiritual practice that they come across. Okay, and they will try to develop their own philosophy with regards to those logic, with regards to those practices. Okay, they will try to develop their own logic with regards to those practices. Yes. Now, Gemini people, they tend to have unstable health because Mercury is the number one enemy of Mars, and Mars, it rules the Lord of the sixth and the 11th houses. Okay, so 11th house, of course, is the Trishadaya house, the highest evil, and it is the sixth from the sixth house. Okay, and you know Mars being the ruler and also the significator of the sixth house, so it maximizes the potential for any Gemini native to fall ill, okay, especially during Mars Dasha or Antardasha. Okay, and this situation may also indicate ill health to friends or older siblings who are ruled by the 11th house. Okay, so if you're a Gemini, you might see your friends and and elder siblings falling sick very often. Okay, because they are all ruled by the 11th house. Okay, so this is about Gemini Lagna in brief. Okay, so if you could relate to this what I said, please give your valuable feedback in the comment section, and subscribe to this channel, like the content, and I'll see you soon with another video. Namaste everyone. Om Gurave Namaha.